I have recorded this video many times, and I feel like the first video, the beginning video, is always the hardest. So my story, when it comes to body and being motivated and staying consistent, it was a struggle. And it's still, I don't want to say it's a struggle now, but it is still something that I have to consciously put out there, so then that way I'm aware of my habits. So around like 5 or 6 years old, I was classified as obese from my doctor with, like you go to the pediatrician, they take your height, your weight, and they look at the little chart and they're like, oh, you're average or you're above average. Da, 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 da. Well, I ended up in the obese category. And early on, my doctor had told my parents, like, okay, well, you got to implement healthy food, and she needs to start kind of like moving around. She can't just sit around all day. And so my parents kind of took it on and got me started with, I believe at first it was gymnastics and trying to eat healthy, but it wasn't fully healthy. Then it was dance classes at first. Not that I was good at it, because I know I wasn't good at it, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. I loved music. I loved moving around. It was just something that I had a hobby that I kind of gravitated towards. And when it came to after that, there wasn't progression because my healthy eating wasn't incorporated. My parents tend to refer back to processed foods or making easy dinners because they both worked full-time jobs and they were tired, and I wasn't losing weight. I was still in the category of being obese, and my doctor's like, you need to take this seriously. And I want to say around the age of, I want to say around 10 or 12, that's when I joined Weight Watchers. Now, if you don't know, Weight Watchers is basically a program for people to lose weight. They help with portion control and knowing what is the right and wrong foods. And during that time, my doctor had to approve it, which he did, because I was obese, and I was able to start Weight Watchers at 10 or 12. And I would sit in these meetings with women that were way older than I was. I was just a kid. And I was learning all these diet ways at 10 and 12 years old. And I learned about portion. I learned about calories. I learned about macros, and just all of, if you know, you know. I don't want to go into it because sometimes it is a trigger for some people. It was definitely a trigger for me at one point, which going from Weight Watchers, the only time that I actually seen progress was when during it, I had to get my tonsils removed. And because I had to get my tonsils removed, all I was eating was basically Jello, popsicles, anything like soft. If you got your tonsils removed, you kind of know what they have you eat at first. And I remember I lost, I think it was 10 pounds, because I was still young. Like, that's kind of normal, because then afterwards you just kind of gain the weight back. But I lost a lot of weight. And I remember going to Weight Watchers, and I could barely even talk because I had my tonsils removed. And they gave me a sticker for it. You lost 10 pounds. Here's a sticker. And I felt accomplished because of the fact that, all right, I lost 10 pounds. I got a sticker. My doctor's going to be proud of this. Like, this is great. I'm doing good. And that's when my eating disorder formed. I got into extremely unhealthy life by having my eating disorder. I was classified as EDNOS, which is eating disorder not otherwise specified, which I believe they call it something different now, but I don't look up that information because I don't want to be triggered again to get into that life. And I basically would do anything that would help me lose weight, whether it was barely eating, or when I would eat, I would get rid of it somehow, some way, whether it was doing it myself or having medications to get rid of it, or even to the point of just working out of the gym. There was a point when I would work out, especially when I had my car and I was able to drive to the gym by myself, I started working out. I would go to the gym before school, work out for like a good 2 hours, and then I would go to school. After school, go to the gym and work out for 2 more hours, sometimes 3. Now, some people who are going to see this video is going to be like, great, you're working out, like, that's good for you. Yes, but I wasn't giving my body the nutrition that it needed. I wasn't eating. I wasn't taking any vitamins. I wasn't consuming my life with veggies and high protein. It was literally straight nothing, maybe an apple and a bottle of water, and then working out for 4 to 5 hours a day. So it got to a point where I became a liability for some gyms. And it got to a point where I would feel like I would pass out and I'd be on the machine, and the managers at the gym would be concerned, and I have gotten suspended from gyms. And as much as I look at that now and I'm like, that is so sad that I would get suspended from gyms, because gyms are supposed to be a positive mindset. But I don't fully blame myself, because I got caught up in the community of having an eating disorder. And if you've had an eating disorder, you know how easy it is to get stuck in it. During that time, I ended up on some chat rooms about eating disorders. I ended up making eating disorder friends, and by then, on top of it all, I ended up starting modeling school. And I felt good because I was losing weight. I was looking good. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post pictures. And I posted pictures on Facebook, even before and after photos. And my family had no idea that I was doing all of this. They were just like, well, she was plus size. Now she's looking great. Like, great. Good for you. Good job. But literally, they didn't know what really I was doing. And it got even to points where I was hiding food. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to eat in my room, and then not even eat. Like, it was extreme. And the first step that I had to say to my parents is, I do have an eating disorder. And after that, I ended up getting a therapist to help me through it. And there are some tendencies where it is a little bit triggering, but I don't ever revert back to restricting myself. Now, when it comes to eating too much, that was still in my system as I got older. So I ended up picking up the binge part of my eating disorder, and I would use food as a comfort. So whenever I felt stressed or overwhelmed, I would feel hungry, or at least I would think. I wouldn't actually be hungry. It would be something in my mind, and then I would just eat snacks. I would eat a whole bag of chips. I would eat a whole carton of ice cream. I would go to Krispy Kreme, get a box of donuts, and eat all of them just to get the satisfaction of feeling full and feeling content because I was overwhelmed. Which, again, it doesn't line up, but in that moment, it made sense then. And if you're asking, like, that would hurt my stomach, like, how were you able to eat that much? It hurt my stomach too. And I would be sick to my stomach, and I would be laying in bed, and I'd be crying and be like, oh my God, I don't feel good. But I was doing it to myself, because I was taking this type of food addiction that I had and not managing it well at all, and not taking it seriously. So now we have where we are today. So today, I am at a point where when I got married, I still had some of these negative habits with food. And I loved going out with my wife. I loved going to dinner. I loved going to events or hanging out with friends, and all those kind of required like not healthy options, or at least if it did require healthy options, it's not something that like, okay, we go out to dinner, like I'm gonna choose a salad. You know, it was more like, oh, let's go out to dinner, I'm gonna get the surf and turf and a fruity drink and just like enjoy the experience because we never get to do this. And that wasn't a good choice at all for me. And it kind of like gravitated into our life and our family, and it started to affect my wife, it started to affect my daughter, and it affected me. So because of that simple choice of indulging in food and choosing unhealthy ways, and I want to say right before 2019, where I stumbled across a Beachbody coach. Now, they say if you're in eating disorder recovery that you really shouldn't be a part of any diet plans or like workout programs, that type of stuff. But the thing about my personal life is that I'm not a healthy person. I am still overweight. I am not active pretty much at all. Like, I will walk up the street right now, and I'm really not active right now because a few months ago I got into a car accident, so I have some injuries on my legs, and I actually have an injury on my wrist. So doing a simple like push-up is not even possible right now as much as it was a few months ago. And sorry, I just seen a bird. I ended up stumbling across a Beachbody coach, and I didn't, how do I put this? I didn't find her because of her promoting Beachbody. I found her because she also has a YouTube channel, and she basically talks about on her YouTube channel of how to live a better life from her standpoint, what she's choosing. And she was also sick at some point. She wasn't plus size, but she was sick at some point, and she needed to get healthy. And her story was going from skinny to strong. And that's the biggest thing that I realized for myself is I don't want to be skinny. I want to be strong, and I want to be healthy. And so I started on the journey of trying to be healthy, eating better, trying to incorporate some more type of movement that I wasn't doing. And along with it, I found by all these different things that I've done, because I have done every pill, I have done every shake, I've done every workout program other than some of them, but like I've done workout videos and I burned it off, but I never really felt in my body the best that I could be. So now I'm at a point where I kind of take vitamins and fill myself with premium vitamins and nutrition. Now, as you can see, there is this kind of looks like a sticker or nicotine patch. I don't really smoke like that, so let me explain what this is. This is a DFT. It is Dermafusion technology. It is wearable nutrition. This is like the original one that we have from our company. There are different ones. I'm on the journey for myself of living a better life by taking these premium vitamins. And it's 3 steps in the morning. If you follow me on Instagram, you see me take my 3 steps right on my stories. It's 2 capsules in the morning. It's a shake, and then it's putting this on, and you're basically absorbing your vitamins and nutrition. Now, you're probably like, okay, this is a sales pitch, da-da-da-da. This isn't really fully a sales pitch. I want you to realize something big about my journey is I started this journey in 2018. When COVID happened, I actually stopped that journey. I was more concerned about what was going on in the world, how to keep my family safe, how to keep our children safe, and just consumed ourselves in our current situation. I stopped posting on social media. I couldn't even go on Facebook at that point because COVID was so, I don't want to say depressing, but it was so stressful for, if you can relate, for many people, especially if you have children and you were doing virtual learning. Like, thank God, knock on wood, our daughter is in virtual school right now. In the district that we're in, they're able to go 5 days a week. They wear masks. That helped me out a lot because as much as I signed up to be a mom, I was not raised in a society to be a teacher as well. Now, when it comes down to having to actually teach your own child, like, yeah, I fully agree. You should be able to teach your own child, but it wasn't something that I was expecting to happen. I kind of just relied on the teachers for teaching and relied me on being a parent, and that's about it. So it was a big, huge jump for our family's lifestyle. Now that the children are back in school, we're kind of having a lot more stuff open. There's a lot less mask mandates. It's kind of like the stress level has gone down, and I'm able to step back into my mental bubble of I need to get my life right and I need to form a healthy life. So that's why I'm taking my 3 steps. And like, if you are interested, like, go down below. There are different ways that you could contact me. I'm going to put it in the description. Reach out to me so we could connect. If you want these 3 products, feel free. I don't want to scare you away with you thinking that this YouTube channel is all for excuse me, talking about the products I take, because it's actually not. The reason why I have this YouTube channel and another one is because I've been wanting to do YouTube since 2013. And the reason why I say this is because I started vlogging my own life before I even had our daughter, and I kind of stopped because of roadblocks that were in my way. And I'm at a point where I am forming and creating the life that I dream, and I'm daring myself to dream big. You are welcome to join the journey. You are welcome to follow along. You are welcome to be a part. On Instagram is kind of like the behind scenes of all of this, and then I do have my website, which is going to be linked below, where I'm going to be starting my blog. And YouTube and blogging are 2 things that always been a part of me, and I found enjoyment from doing those 2 things, and I want to continue on, and I want to share my story. I want to post more videos, like cleaning videos, or my morning routine or night routine, or just things that I found interesting, that I feel like there's probably at least one person in this world who is very similar to me, or at least a little bit similar to me, that I can connect with, or that they feel led to follow, and I bring them enjoyment throughout their day by just watching that video. So please don't think that this is all about like, oh, she's just trying to promote her products. That's not it at all. I do post about the products that I'm taking because I hate to say, but it's not a gimmick. And the reason why I say this is because I used to be the skeptic, and I was like, it's a gimmick. But by doing it, stopping it, and then starting up again and noticing the difference of how I feel on it compared to how I don't feel on it, I feel my vitamins working in my body, and that's a big step for me. So I tend to not like talk about it, but share it, because if I don't share about it, someone who's like me might need it in their life, and you might just be the person who just needs the routines and needs the motivation, because I was like that at some point until I realized that my body was lacking vitamins and nutrition. So this is like a long rampage recap. I have no idea if you're gonna watch it all the way through, but I at least wanted to post it on here so it kind of gives like an update of why the heck all of a sudden I'm just about healthy eating and moving and being motivated and creating the life you dream and vision boards and having my major goal when I'm 30. Like, if you don't know what my major goal is when I turn 30, you're gonna find out. And it has to do with Disney, and it has to do with moving, and it has to do with being healthier. So, which I'm not going to talk about in this video. Maybe we'll talk about it in the next one. But I just want to thank you guys for watching and being understanding and supporting. And whether you want this in your life or you're just here to support me, I have to say thank you and welcome. Bye guys. Have a great day.